This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers!
And you know what is so weird right now, Johnny?
What?
If, like, you guys on YouTube see we have headphones on and you hear us on Blog Talk Radio, iTunes, Stitcher, all podcast services, but I can't hear myself or you in our headphones because of what we're about to do for this first segment.
I have one off just so I can hear you, and you see I'm wearing two of them.
It's
on
weird
YouTube.
to have that like I can't hear myself. But welcome to the Rick and Johnny podcast, where we look at superheroes, we look at entertainment, we look at gaming. Big gaming podcast for this week. But before we get into everything, we're going to look at God of War. We're going to look at Xbox Game Pass. We're going to look at Game of Thrones today. Before we do that, a little bit of housekeeping for you guys. Number one is, if you like what we're doing here, want to help support us, check out patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. Also, if you want an MVP t-shirt, we are selling those. Information down in the description. If you're on iTunes, have an iTunes account, please go and give the Rick and Johnny podcast a 5-star rating. And last but not least, if you have not already given us your feedback, check out the MVP survey in the description. We want your feedback to make 2018 a better year for MVP. But Johnny, we're looking at games today. We're looking at Xbox Game Pass later. We're looking at Game of Thrones later. We're looking at God of War.
It's a game show.
Now. Yeah, the game show, except for Games of War. Yeah, Game of Thrones. So the game show today. I didn't even get that in my head at first. But we're looking at God of War first. And here's what we're going to do. Much like we did for Avengers Infinity War.
Yes.
The God of War had a about 3-minute trailer come out for their story. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch it, react to it with you guys, and then we're going to talk about this God of War story. So let's get ready to, let me know when you're ready so that we can hit play at the exact same time.
Huh? What'd you say?
You good?
I'm good.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, that's loud.
You had the volume up too high?
Oh, there do I see my father. Oh, there do they call to me. Oh, there do they call to me. Oh, there do they call to me.
That bow's a little big for you, isn't it?
My mother made it for me. Said I'd grow into it.
Find your
Now
way
that's the
home.
one thing that I've heard people say.
You are free.
The weapon.
Yeah.
It's got an
Taking our
axe in
ashes to
this
the
one.
highest peak in the realms.
Yeah.
Ashes.
That's interesting so far.
It was our last wish.
Where must we go?
To a realm beyond your own.
Because, like, some
only
people
one
still
path
want
from
them to
here. You
have
need to
the
go.
Kratos blades.
the weapons around
Call
the
me.
arms.
Yeah,
Mimir.
you got to
Smartest
switch over
man
to
alive. First, you need to cut off
the
my head.
mythology.
Wait,
we're going
what?
with.
That axe you got.
Wait, what? We gotta
You
cut off your
handle her
head?
special.
I know you're a god. Not of this realm, but there's no mistaking it. He doesn't know, does he? About your true nature? Or his own?
The longer you wait, the more damage you do. He will resent you, and you may lose him forever.
You're next! I'll rip your head off!
There are consequences to killing a god.
Why? How do you know? How do you know?
Power of this weapon, any weapon, comes from here. But only when tempered by this. By discipline.
Heart of the cards, Johnny.
Self-control.
Heart of the
one
cards.
who wields it. Open the door! We need your help!
This is no ordinary illness. The boy's true nature, your true nature, fights within him.
Oh.
Like you?
No. We
I
are
hope
not
he gets
men.
those weapons back.
I wonder if he
More
is,
than
because now that's kind of symbolism for it.
Because those are the scars from when they used to be around his arms.
Yeah.
that big?
Can you kill something that big? Yeah, I am so excited for it. Like, for me, this is up. I should probably move my headphones back so that I can hear you.
Take this off.
Like, and that's the thing where with this kind of trailer, it was a lot of our reactions to it, like facial reactions, because you don't want to talk over, like the story trailer, you don't want to talk over.
No,
it.
you don't.
But a few things I'm kind of looking at here is I know one of the big kind of criticisms when people found out it's going to be Kratos and Son, God of War, Kratos and Son, was that it's like, great, it's going to be him and this kid. After seeing this trailer, I want to play this game today.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there is going to be so much emotion within this story to where I'm going to feel for this kid. I'm going to feel for him like Kratos will. Something's going to happen to him. I think we already saw that a little bit in the trailer.
Yeah.
Something's going to happen to him, and I am going to be crushed. And my thought process, I know you didn't play The Last of Us, did you?
No, not much of it.
If this game makes me feel a quarter of how I felt during The Last of Us, it's going to be a great game. Like, that is what I'm thinking after seeing this trailer.
I would love to be able to play this game. You know how much I love Norse mythology.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing is, I've played at least 2 of the 3 other God of War games.
Mm-hmm.
And just going along with what you said with about the kid, it looks like because he's a god, technically, and he's the god of war.
Well, he's the son of Kratos.
He's the son of Kratos. And what's interesting is the illness is what's fighting inside of him, is what is part of Kratos. Because what it seems like is he's trying to prevent his son from being like him.
Yeah. Well, isn't really that all parents? Like,
yeah, exactly.
You don't want your kids to make the same mistakes that you made?
Well, as he screams to him, you don't kill a god. There are consequences. How do you know? How do you know?
Because Kratos.
Because I did it. Okay.
Because he's killed many gods. I remember fighting Zeus in the old games.
Remember the first one you fight is Ares. You fight Ares.
Yeah. Exactly. And it's like, that's the thing that I love. Like, I couldn't help but laugh because it's kind of humorous to me.
Yeah.
To the 2 humorous parts. The first one was true humor of like, you have to cut my head off. Wait, what? Huh? We gotta cut your head off?
Wait,
and then
what?
The second one when he's like, what does he say? He's got the bow and arrow and he's like, I'll eat your heart out. It's like he's getting all angry and just shooting the bow. It just makes me laugh because it's like, oh, look at the little tyke.
Look at this little monster.
He's getting all angry and stuff.
Oh, look at the little monster getting angry.
But I think that the story, now that I'm actually seeing what this story is going to be, it's going to put me through the feels. I can already tell you.
Yeah.
I am going to have feels. The other point of the trailer that made me go, oh my God, the first time I saw it was when the bandage falls away.
Oh, yeah.
And you actually see the burn marks from his weapons in the old game. And I'm like, oh, like, please let there be something. Not necessarily him get those back, but there's got to be something to where the kid notices and the kid asks about it. And we get Kratos talking about that time when he had those weapons, basically as shackles around his wrists.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome, like, to find out more about what that's going to play into. Because now we know at least that they're going to somewhat reveal it. Because what it looks like is he loses those, they're not gauntlets, van braces technically is what they're called. He loses those. It's just the wrapping of, I think he even at one point had that wrapping on there, didn't he? But to have, like, because like you said, the burn marks, the scars, the whatever is there from using the whatever the dual blades. I forgot what they're actually called now.
I'll look it up, but continue at your point.
No, I would just love to see what the interaction is for that. What it plays into that. And it's got to reveal something to the kid, and that could be where the argument comes in from him and his son of how do you know what it's like to kill a god, like that there's consequences to killing a god. Or
Blades of Chaos.
Blades of
They were
Chaos.
called.
See, I knew it's something with chaos.
Well, you had Kratos' equipment, Blades of Chaos, the Blades of Athena, which were also a different version of it.
Yeah.
Blades of Exile. You had the Blade of Olympus was also a weapon that you've used.
But all in all, it's the Blades of Chaos. Yeah, those I think are the ones that burned him anyways.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that with this game is this is going to be, I think, the most, well, I don't think this is a hot take or anything. It's just what it is. This is going to be the most different God of War game.
Oh, definitely.
That we've seen. Because through my experience, I played God of War 1 way back before. It was my second platinum. That was around the time I was in the platinum race with one of my sister's ex-boyfriends, where it was basically me and him basically seeing who's going to get more platinums. Because Borderlands was the first one I platinumed. This was the second one. Played God of War 2. Started to play God of War 3 and never got through it. And I was like, you know what? This is where I fall off the God of War train. And I wonder that will there be those people, if I could speak actual words here on the podcast.
English is a difficult language.
Will there be those people that maybe fell off during a God of War 3 or were like, you know what? It's been so long since I played a God of War game. Is it even worth it? And they won't buy the game.
That's true. I mean, I fell off for a multitude of reasons. I kind of started switching platforms at that point from PS to Xbox because I didn't want to get the PS3 at the time. I wanted to get the Xbox because I had more friends playing at that moment.
It's going to be nearly almost 7 years or almost 8 years to the day. God of War 3 to God of War this one.
Wow. That's a long time.
March 16th, 2010 was when God of War 3 came out, and this one's going to be...
to the day.
Well, almost. It's a month later. This one's April 20th.
Yeah, but almost to the day.
Almost to the day. About a month after, and it's 8 years since the God of War game. So, I mean, is that even going to take into effect of it? Like, can a trailer like this start... Like, in me, it already has.
Yeah.
But do you think it can ignite the flames enough in people that played the old games to make it like, oh, maybe I should buy this, compared to the first time we saw it and people were like, really? It's just Kratos and son.
So, you know, what I like is what a good thing to do sometimes is when you've had the game and you put out too many of them in a sense, you could sometimes say that, is to give it a break and then to bring it back out with a variation or a little bit of twist, but with some of the same flair as the old one. I'll be honest, I know we talked about it like way in the beginning when we first started this podcast.
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean. Was it like we kind of talked, is it just going to be a rehash of the old one? Well, I finally watched it the other day.
Did you?
The newest one.
It took you a year.
It took me a year. Yes, it did.
When you brought up Pirates of the
wanted to
Caribbean,
see
I
it
was
then.
like, you brought up Pirates, and I was like, holy shit, man, we haven't talked Pirates of the Caribbean in forever.
We haven't. And
I remember doing that
because
segment,
I didn't know until recently. I haven't watched my Netflix in probably 2 months. Partially because I've been using Hulu, partially because I've been playing a lot of Overwatch.
True.
I came back to it. I saw Pirates of the Caribbean was on there. I was at work and I'm like, you know what? I'm waiting for these classes then. I'm going to watch Pirates of the Caribbean, the new one. And it was great. Pirates of the Caribbean 4 was okay.
Do you remember the title we did for that?
No, I don't.
Should we be excited for Pirates of the Caribbean 5?
I was.
We did that March 10th.
Yes.
March 10th, so almost a year. It's been 10 months since we talked about Pirates of the Caribbean.
And that's the thing for me, though, is I watched it, and I'm glad I did, because they had a lot of fresh takes on everything, but some of those jokes and some of those characteristics that you don't want to die away.
So what you're saying is God of War could be doing the same thing.
In a sense, yeah.
A different take on the God of War franchise, but it's bringing new life to it.
Yes, exactly. It's breathing new life into a game that you loved it when you played it and you loved it when it first came out. And then the second one was, this is pretty good. Third one kind of started to make it go stale.
Yeah.
Franchises, that happens in franchises. And
when
then
you overstimulate something.
Exactly. When you overstimulate something, you get bored with it. Am I right? Well, then take a break, and they came back to it, and I love this. And I love the fact that it went with a new mythology.
Now it's the Norse mythology instead of the Greek and Greek gods.
Exactly. And it's great because you have that new mythology, you have a new weapon, you have a new take on some stuff. Now he has a son he also has to make sure doesn't die, not just you. You have to also, he has someone else to take care of, which makes a new spin on it. But it's in some essences, from watching this, from watching some of the gameplay, it's still the same old Kratos deep down inside.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking here and there's a first era, which was Greek mythology. Now we're in the second era, which is Norse mythology.
Yeah.
And if I look at the timeline for God of War, I know there were numerous God of War games.
Yeah.
But the big ones I'm looking at is God of War 1, God of War 2, God of War 3, and then God of War 2018.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I'm looking at. So God of War was 2005. 2 years later, 2017. So it came out 2005 when we were, so if it came out early 25 is what I'm guessing, then we were about, what would that have been? End of freshman year.
Yeah.
So end of freshman year of high school, we get God of War 1. End of junior year, we get God of War 2. And then when we're in college, sophomore year of college, I would say, maybe junior year of college, end of sophomore year of college, we get God of War 3.
Yeah.
And those are where they come. Now we get the new one. So it was, we've got 2 years, then 3 years, but that's still 5 years of 3 games. We had a 5-year chunk with 3 games in there.
Yeah, and gaming's a little different than movies because it takes a little bit longer to get them done.
It depends on how long you're going to, like, the development process. Like, we're not talking about it today. I almost wanted to bring it up, but I'll bring it up here.
Yeah.
The game Anthem. I don't know if I showed you that when the trailer came out. Anthem's the game, if you guys don't know, where it's like you have the like Iron Man exosuits kind of.
I remember.
Well, that's being delayed now until 2019.
Oh, really?
It's being pushed back an entire year. So like there could be development problems. It could take just a while to develop the game more so than movie, cast, shoot, here we go. But the thing I wanted to ask you is, will this just be a God of War 8? Because we don't get this in the trailer. We'll get it when we play it. Do you think this game will be God of War and it puts a finality to God of War? Or will this be, because it's now Norse mythology, is this going to kickstart another trilogy of God of War games?
See, I'm hoping one or two things. It leaves it kind of open-ended for them to, well, we can make another one. Because that would be cool. What would be cool too is, let's say he finishes off the Norse gods or whatever he needs to do with the Norse gods. We have many other pantheons we can go with, and I use pantheon even though it's technically the Greek. He is God of War Greek. I mean, you could do something with the Egyptian gods. There's many other ones. I mean, Mesopotamians if you want to go way back when. But I'm just saying, you can do any of those gods, any pantheon you want. I think it would be cool to have another, maybe not a trilogy of this one, but maybe 1 to 2 games of this, and tie it into a story where he has to leave the Norse area and find
somewhere else.
Yeah, go somewhere else. He just has to keep traveling because he effed up this part, this era, this pantheon of gods. Now he effed up this pantheon of gods. Well, I gotta get somewhere else. Now he's gonna do this one. Or follow it up. He's too old. His son's now the one that has to do it.
And that's what I was thinking of. With me, I'm relating this closely to The Last of Us. And the thing I liked most about The Last of Us was it left the ending open-ending. Like, there was an open ending to it. But if you were like, this is the only game we're making, I was satisfied with that game all the way through and where it ended. Yes, was there a greater question? But it was one of those greater questions to where it's like, you know what? I'm at peace asking that question and not having an answer to it.
Yeah.
Now, they're coming out with another game, which I'm totally excited for because I love The Last of Us as well. But with this one, I wouldn't be surprised if they do the same thing.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's just leave it with an open-ending question that's not really too much like, hey, we're doing this. And then gauge basically how people respond to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because really also it comes down to,
is it worth making
how much
another
moolah
one?
can we get out of it? Like
Yeah.
the price of making the game compared to how much we're going to make from
Exactly. You want to make sure if you're gonna make the game, you're gonna sell enough to warrant making another one. And if it doesn't, no big deal. We'll just leave it enough to where it's not too open-ended.
it. Any final thoughts on God of War?
No, I'm just excited to play this at some point.
No, we will.
We will.
I am buying it.
You're buying it.
And we will play it together.
Yes,
How about we do this? This is what me and you will do.
Okay.
I'm going to buy it. I know I am.
Yes.
Me and you will play it together for the channel. Kind of like how we were going to do with Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale game. And it never worked out because that was when we were on the old camera.
Camera, and I think we were having a lot of lag systems.
We had a lot of lag issues with that.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't computer game on my laptop. Or that was my old laptop. But I will get it. We will record it. We will do
Sounds
God of
fantastic.
War so that Johnny can play it. Or at least experience it with us.
Just experience it.
Well, I mean, we'll probably switch off the controller, but I am going to start with the controller.
Oh, okay.
Well, because it's my PlayStation and my game.
I know.
House rules, man. Don't you remember when we were kids? House rules.
No, actually, I always try to let the guests go for a little bit since I own the game.
It was always house rules. Whenever me and my friends were anywhere, it was all right, Sean, we're at your house. You get first stab, and then I'm gonna get the second stab at it. Or it was, hey, let's play a 2-player game. So we can both have a controller. But it's not a 2-player game. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below of the trailer. Are you excited for God of War 2? Does this trailer make it more of a worth, or does it make it worth buying more so than there could have been the question there? There's a question in there. Is it worth buying? Let us know what you think down below in the comment section.